And hello, everybody, and welcome to another toonkind at 12 FPS. We're gonna have a very fun experience for you guys today. I am one of your hosts. You can all refer to me as Fletch or Scooter. I'm one of two Scooters, so maybe not Scooter, but uh, and I will be playing a horrendous little nosy boy by the name of Ursa. And joining me today is the wonderful, the talented, the very excited, the person I'm very excited to become friends with.
The very overhyped Mud Mad. Hi! How am I supposed to live up to that? Yeah!
I hype up everyone I'm in an FPS
Okay,
with.
okay, cool. That's very sweet. Anyway, hello, it's me again. I know, I'm sorry. Anyway, I am Black playing Alibi, who is my horrendous goblin of a fox, who is not actually a fox, but at the moment nobody here actually knows that, because Alibi has decided spontaneously, and I still feel apologetic for this because we didn't plan it. But apparently, he's crashing at the Ram Shack, which is not a bootleg of the otherwise known that other building that's triangular that contains many wonderful and whimsical things run by Grunkle, and we love it very much.
Yeah. It is a completely original idea that has yet to be seen in this world.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so that's basically the start. Is I think maybe it's been what, a few days, like 3 days, shall we say? Maybe.
Yeah.
And
So, yeah, it's been a few days since Alibi has decided to, crash at the shack for a bit. Unfortunately for Alibi, he is not the only resident here, and the other one happens to be maybe a little bit paranoid 12-year-old. So you can kind of imagine how he is feeling about this.
Conspiracy theories abound.
Yes. Especially after he's kind of, seen Alibi in action after, spending some time together. Certainly, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. There's nothing to worry about.
And, yeah, just a completely normal fox. Don't worry about it.
Actually,
Which
I think
is
that
exactly
was
what Grunkle Stan has told him.
Yeah, I think we decided that was the tipping point. Like, Ursula is already sus of this fox, and then Grunkle said, don't worry about it. Like, and that's it. That's like the no.
And honestly, having partially raised this child, Grunkle John should have probably realized that saying don't worry about it is exactly what is going to make him worry even more about it. So yeah.
So what's Ursa going to do about this?
Well, first, Ursa's probably going to start off with the good old-fashioned observation of this strange fox that has just showed up in his home.
Okay, I love that. Let's make a perception roll and see what you've observed. That or investigation, but that's more like, I think it's probably perception first, just to see like what you've generally seen. And maybe for particularly today, let's see what happens.
All right, let's see how he does on this, because he has a fun perception modifier.
That big
that
fat
is
zero?
To say he doesn't have a perception modifier.
Well, listen, me and you are gonna get along great, because guess what mine is? It's exactly the same. So that was a 7. I'm gonna say that even though it's a lucky number 7, that's not great. But yeah, I think today the fox has eluded you, and this is strange because usually this tenant is very lazy, quite late up in the morning. Like, the morning for this guy is 12. Noon, midday. That's the morning. Any earlier than that, ugh, that's nighttime. What are you talking about? But yeah, you've looked around. There is no sign. So I don't know quite where to go with this. Okay, because
Uh,
you can't initially see the fox, you assume that the fox is not in the house. Therefore, you're going to have to do some real sleuthing. You're going to have to track the fox. So I will say this is either investigation or survival.
let's do investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is. Survival is also a flat d20, but he has +7 to investigation.
Mm.
He he is very much a miss the forest for the trees kind of boy.
A
That's a
12!
12.
A 12 isn't amazing! I'll be real with you. Okay, so what does this look
It's
like?
not.
How does Ursa
Uh,
investigate? Then I can build on it.
all right. So Ursa probably starts with casing the shack, just, wandering around, checking the exhibits, seeing if he can find any fox prints, as we say.
Mm-hmm.
And once it's clear that there is not a fox here, he's he's not quite sure where to go from there.
Okay, I can work with this. Okay, so you do your goose sleuth impersonation. You scour the floor for footprints because there's always footprints in the cartoon. Why wouldn't there be footprints? It turns out that if you haven't been walking outside and your feet aren't muddy, there aren't footprints, especially if it's not dusty. This appears to be one of the rare days where someone has actually bothered to sweep, so there's no dust to leave trails, and you sort of have been hunting around the floor, and then you go and you stand up and you go because you're like right in front of the glass case with that goddamn puppet in it, and it's so it's so scary. And in stumbling away in fear from this, you actually bump up to the window, and then out of the window you happen to catch the very edge of a purple coat disappearing outside behind a tree.
Oh boy. Let's roll d2 to see what I. Okay. Normally he likes to readjust that damned creepy puppet whenever he has the chance to. But this seems like a kind of time sensitive thing, so this time he leaves the puppet alone and follows that fox.
For flavour, just as Ursa leaves the room, the puppet's eyes move a tiny bit. And we move to the next scene. Okay, we're outside. I'll let you just be where that tree was, but again, it's the forest. You will have to try and figure out which way this guy has gone. What would you like to do to try and find the fox?
Let's see. He's probably gonna take a quick look around the tree,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's gonna see if this time the background artists have bothered to draw in footprints.
Okay.
So let's
Investigation?
see. Would that
Yeah.
be and yeah.
We got with same. I mean, who's going to throw away a +7? There
Hey!
it is! There it is, beautifully rendered by the local background artist. You actually do see some soft, he's got these weird sack shoes, the very traditional Giznep style. They're very popular over there, especially with dwarves. You find a little pattering of footprints heading off to the east. And you might find this a bit mysterious, because being a local, directly to the east, you know that there's not like a cliff, but it's a little gorge. There's like a gap between one lump of land and the next, and like this sort of miniature ravine between. Not huge, but it's like a pain in the ass, so why would you go that way?
Yeah.
You are following this trail. What do you think you would do? Would you just be walking up like as you are? Would you be sneaking, climbing a tree? I don't know.
Oh, he would absolutely be sneaking. Sure, the last FPS in which he sneaked around did not go so well on the sneaking front, but he's gonna try it anyways.
Okay.
Just you know the scene, just darting from tree to tree, sometimes hiding behind one that is too thin for his character model, but doing it anyways.
Yeah, you're being the hide behind. I like it. Let's roll stealth, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey.
oh! This this is wonderful. I mean, yeah, you do exactly that, and even if it is too thin for your model, you fit behind it perfectly, and you make great progress. How do you feel? How is Ursa feeling right now?
Right now, he's feeling pretty good. He's got the hiding down pat this time, unlike a certain break-in that shall not be named. He's hot on the trail. He is sure that he can find this weird fox doing something unscrupulous.
You may be correct. At the
He's
moment, he doesn't appear to be doing anything unscrupulous, but you almost, because you're being so successfully sneaky, you almost zip out into the open because, hang on, we're at the edge of the trees. And maybe you do a sort of quick little U-turn, but with that roll, nobody sees you. It's fine. Especially not this guy, because he has just been exploring, basically. He's like gone for a walk. Why wouldn't you? And come to this ravine, and he can see something on the other side that he wants to get to. And you see him sort of do it with his arms crossed and a foot tap, as if he's annoyed because he might have to find another way around, when suddenly there's a and a tree has fallen over and is making a bridge across this ravine. And he doesn't look at all surprised and starts to walk over it. What do you do, Ursa?
Ursa has kind of just, for comedy's sake, we can say it was a tree that was like right next to him.
Oh my god, yes. Yes, we can.
So, like, the camera cuts to Ursa behind the tree, just eyes as wide as dinner plates, staring at the spot where the tree used to be. It's not there anymore. And he's just like, oh, what the peck? What is this? That's not normal. And then once he recovers from that, he's gonna take out a little notepad and a pencil and write that down.
Write that down.
Yeah. And when the camera cuts to what he wrote down, it's basically just tree down? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
It sure fucking is, my dude. Okay, in the meantime, I'm supposed to be crossing this makeshift bridge, and I think it would only be fair if I have to make some sort of roll to balance my way across it. Because it's not a huge tree. It's like a fairly skinny birch tree. No, let's make it a silver birch, because, like, those have really shallow roots, so it's not all that surprising that it fell over, because they can just randomly fucking do that. What would you like me to roll to cross this bridge without falling the fuck off it, basically?
I'd say either... probably acrobatics or a deck save, depending on how you feel.
They both have the same. So, yeah, let's call it a hybrid. It's a +3, whatever. A 17. Would you say that's successful?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay. It's nothing...
In fact, that's probably... Like, I used to do the beam as a kid, and it's actually not that hard to walk across a thin thing, so, like, you're just having a fun little jaunt.
For you, with me and my wobbly ankles, 17 is, like, beyond the mortal realms of my physical capacity. So, with a 17, this fox rather jauntily walks over the tree, and nothing exceptional happens. If it had been a lower roll and luck shenanigans, either I would have fallen off or something would have happened to make the tree fall out of, like, where it is, and then you would have had a problem. So it works out the best for everybody. Yep, and the fox is...
It sure does.
The fox is walking away. Are you going to pursue?
Oh yeah, he's gonna pursue. He'll probably waits for Alibi to finish crossing first. Right. Just to make sure that it's, solid.
I mean, the good news for you is that my passive perception is 10. So,
yeah,
you'll be fine.
And that once Alibi is across and, doesn't seem to be looking back anytime soon, he is also going to be making a.
Making your way
He also
downtown.
has a +3 to this, so yeah. Let's see how it goes.
Oh
Does not go well.
no!
That's a 6, dear audience.
Oh dear. I think we can only interpret this as you get about halfway across and just like either a supporting branch slightly gives way or there's a little bit of skiddy moss and you do the and like, you know, we see poor Ursa disappear off and there's like a sizable wait until the at the bottom of the ditch. You will not take any fall damage, it's not that far. It's for comedic value only. However, you do emerge covered in mud and twigs.
Yes. As is cartoon law.
Mm-hmm.
This poor boy has been real funnied.
Yeah. You have at least one leaf
Thankfully,
stuck
though,
in your
he
hair.
does. Yeah. He kind of takes his hat off and brushes it off before realizing, wait a minute, I have prestidigitation. And so he's just gonna.
My favorite
He's
spell.
gonna take a few minutes to try and prestidigitate this dirt and mud and twigs all away. It's gonna take a while.
It will. It will. Would you like to roll athletics to get out of the hole, or shall we just say you get out of the hole? I mean, I'm not feeling very cruel today.
We can roll athletics to see how long it takes him to get out of the hole.
I love that. Yes. Okay.
Mostly because 10.
It takes a while. It takes a while.
It does.
In fact, by the time you get out of the hole, you kind of wish you'd waited until you'd got out of the hole to prestidigitate yourself clean, because you've actually got more mud on you now, and the trail has gone much more cold, so you will have to do something to pick up the trail again. The fox has long gone.
Yeah. So he kind of just. He decides he'll clean himself off later, because, you know, if he's gonna keep traipsing through the woods, you might as well just let yourself become dirty for a
Commit to
bit.
being filthy.
Yeah.
You're a child. You're supposed to be.
Yeah, he's 12. Dirt is part of the package.
Yeah.
Okay. So he is going to. Let's see if he has any. Question: are there any animals nearby?
Oh, entirely likely.
Like, you
I
know-
mean, there's squirrels, there's raccoons, there's ants. Like, bugs count. There's certainly bugs.
Yeah, so he probably wanders over to the nearest squirrel, just like casually leans his arm on a branch and casts Speak with Animals.
Okay, what do you say to the squirrel?
And he's gonna just like, hey, you going to happen to have seen any foxes pass by, maybe? Like a weird one with a hood?
The squirrel looks up from the nut that it was casually eating, almost slightly affronted that you're interrupting its dinner, and in a series of noises, it recounts the way that the fox went. I would like you to roll insight.
Alright.
23.
Okay.
That's a
I
nat
guess
20.
he's very good at reading the squirrel.
This squirrel is bullshitting you because you interrupted its meal. In fact, you know, with a 23, you know that the direction that the squirrel was telling you is a swamp.
This is why he doesn't normally talk with squirrels. Bears are much better conversation
Absolutely.
partners. And he's just gonna sigh and
I mean, you can try again. You can try and
Take
persuade the
a-
squirrel or bribe the squirrel.
yeah. Yeah, he's gonna take a little, probably like bag of peanuts or something out of his inventory and wave it in front of the squirrel like, You want to tell me again? And
Roll
let's
persuasion
do
with
his
advantage.
horrible.
I'll give you advantage because you have food of the kind that a squirrel does in fact like with your rations. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Those are both good. Those are both fine. The squirrel drops its nut. The nut has been dropped. And makes tiny little grabby hands like, gimme, 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 gimme the food.
Ursa, he kind of pulls it back. He knows how to do a con. And he's just like, not until you tell me where that fox went.
And points with its little enthusiastic grabby hands in the correct direction. It is basically to your left.
And Ursa tosses the squirrel his little bag of peanuts, like, pleasure doing business, and he runs off after the fox.
And you see, the last thing you see of the squirrel is it bodily diving into the bag. You just see its tail sticking out.
Point one for stealing complimentary snacks whenever possible.
In fact, because you did so exemplarily well with those rolls, I will say that, yep, you pick up the trail really easily, and in fact, you seem to have somehow managed to get a little bit of a shortcut, because this fox is just kind of wandering around, just taking in the sights. So you may have an opportunity to do something to him, because part of this game was you might have activities as well.
Yes, that is very true. Let me.
I have suddenly fear. Because I don't know what's gonna
Yeah. So. This is actually the perfect spot for one of the things that I had planned. Because,
Okay.
Ursa is curious to see what's under that hood.
Mm.
Alibi has been in the shack for a few days now, and Ursa has never seen him outside of the hood, which is normally fine, except for sometimes some situations really don't call for that.
Yeah, we suddenly have a little montage
So,
of like Alibi in the shower with the hood on, and like you hear a hairdryer, and Ursa goes around the corner to see if he's got it off. No, he's using the hairdryer with his hood up, and it's like increasingly stupid.
yeah, just a little montage of that, and he is going to. Oh, you're so close to fumbling there, Ursa. uh, he actually had more snacks prepared specifically for this. And he pulls out a whole bag of birdseed.
Oh, good. Okay, what's gonna happen with the birdseed?
And then he's going to he's gonna cover his bases by casting a. It's gonna take a minute. But he's gonna take a minute to cast a fun little spell called Distort Value to make this seem like the best birdseed possible. Like,
Oh,
why would you want to eat that worm when
yes.
you have these beautiful, wonderful, enticing bird seeds?
Also, a severely underrated spell, so I'm really impressed that you're using that. I do love it. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's it has its uses. It's good.
Oh, it does, seriously. I can tell you a story about it, but okay, carry on.
Yeah. And so once that's done, he grabs a handful with a evil little smirk, and he's going to try and throw it at Alibi.
Okay, what would you say that's Dex? I think it would be Dex rather than Strength. I mean, Birdseed doesn't weigh shit. So let's see how close to
Yeah.
him you manage to get.
Yeah, it's more about the flick of the wrist than the strength of the biceps.
It's all in the technique.
Yeah, so he's not proficient in throwing birdseed, I think, so it's just going to be a straight Dex.
Okay. Proficiency. Oh, I mean, 19.
Okay.
19 is fine.
uh,
Oh.
so yeah, Alibi. Suddenly, this child who has been low-key stalking you for the past few days, like, jumps out from behind a tree
Oh, do I
and
see
just
that?
starts yelling and throwing birdseed at you.
Are you serious?
Uh,
You don't even
yeah,
fucking
because
hide? That's really funny. Pocket sand!
I think in D&D mechanics, you drop stealth whenever you make an attack, and he's
Okay.
not a rogue to
I
begin with.
I hugely
So,
respect you. Okay. You do that. You get some amount of Grolix expletive because I will be honest, Alibi was not expecting that. So there's a bit of flailing, like, oh god, don't hurt me, and then he's like, what? He's just looking at his arms and his hands, and his head is like covered in birdseed, and he's like, why? And what happens as a consequence of this?
well, it's really good birdseed, and there are animals abound.
Oh, that's sure.
So, Ursa. So, I guess this would probably be like contesting animal handling roles to
Oh,
see. Because, on one hand, Alibi is covered in the birdseed.
Mm.
On the other hand, Ursa is still holding the bag of birdseed.
oh
So,
my god, are you? Oh, that's really funny. Okay, yeah. Descendeth upon us both a cloud of many winged creatures, birds mostly. There's like one squirrel that's decided to like abseil down because hell yeah, those seas look great. Okay. So what? Animal handling, both of us.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Animal handling or survival, I think.
Survival fuck. I mean, they're both terrible for me. I'm not going to be having any bonuses. So that's really funny for a
Same.
start. Here we go. Fight of the net 20. Let's go.
Alright.
I mean, a 14 is not amazing, but I got a 14.
But it beats a 10. So, like, you do get pretty roughed up, but, like,
He's a violent
at some
bird.
point, at some point, there's loud chittering from Ursa's direction as they all notice he's got the source of these really good bird seeds. Why go for scraps
Oh my
when you
god.
can get the whole thing?
Okay, the mental image I'm getting here is that they all land on Alibi and do start pecking, but it kind of looks like, uncomfortable Disney princess, but still Disney princess. Like, they aren't actually going for his eyes or anything. And then they all go with, like, the ring eyes, the anime thing where it's like, yeah. And, like, we get a dolly zoom on Ursa, who's just like, oh.
Like, just the shadow of all these birds descend over his face.
The flight of the Valkyries plays in the background.
And Ursa just starts yelling as he's being attacked by the birds. And then he has to. And then he's just gotta run.
Exit stage left, pursued by a bird. Many birds, in fact. That's amazing. Alibi is just kind of stood there for a second and then shrugs off the rest of the birds. He's like, well, that sure just happened. He is now going to be more suspicious, like he will be actively rolling perception to see if you are following him, but he's going to leave in the opposite direction, because that was weird, man.
Yeah.
I mean, kids are weird, so it's not as weird as if you'd been, like, a grown-up, but it was still weird.
Yeah, so he is going to have a few hours of peace because Ursa does have to shake off all the birds. And and then he's gotta he's just gotta pull himself together a bit.
Yeah, you look even worse than when you fell into the ravine.
Yeah, like his clothes are all tattered and like there's And, like, there's just a whole bunch of dirt and mud and twigs from that time he tried to hide in a bush from them.
Oh god, I'm gonna roll 1d4. Yeah, oh god, that's the worst it could be. You take d4, a 4, full 4 damage of pecking, scratching, and possibly now a bush with thorns. So congratulations, that sucked.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
But oh, don't be sorry. This is very fun.
I am
And if
enjoying
anything,
this.
he's even more determined that something's weird is going on.
Oh, okay.
'Cause a tree fell. He takes out his notepad again and writes down an angry little note that says bird attack. And then he puts it away.
This fox is a criminal. I don't know how, but I know. And he's right, too.
He is going to catch this fox red-handed, he swears.
Okay, how would you like to resume? You can roll one of the trying to track the fox down things again, or you could say, yeah, you can try and find a good vantage point to try and spot him from. You can do anything, spells, whatever.
Yeah, he does not have anything to help him track down someone, so he's just gonna, after the bird attack, gonna take a moment to just cast some mending on his clothes, because he also has that cantrip, just so that way that's taken care of.
Mhm.
Even though he doesn't do prestidigitation this time because he figures he'll probably get dirty again.
Mhm. Mending? I wish I had mending in real life. That would be great.
Oh yeah, mending would just be... It would be very good.
Very OP. I love it.
I cannot tell the times that mending would have solved something.
Presumably this is why someone made it a D&D spell, so we can live vicariously. Anyway, continue.
Very true. Yeah. So he is going to try and track this darn fox down again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably another investigation.
Mm.
That's a 12.
I will say this time, because Alibi is kind of aware that someone is following him and might throw birdseed at him again, you can't pick up a trail from a 12, so you may have to do something else to try and find him.
Mm-hmm. He was gonna think for a moment, and then he might actually try and go for an ambush, because he might not know where Alibi is now, but he knows where Alibi is going to be later.
Ah, that's clever. That's very clever. What do you do?
He's gonna return to the shack, and he's going to try and set up some traps.
Oh boy, we are going to Home Alone this shit, huh? Okay. Such as?
He is going to Home Alone this shit.
Oh my god.
It's probably good that today is one of the days that Grunkle is out of the shack, or else, I would be so sorry for Grunkle John. You would probably trip into all of these.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Would it be like a sleight of hand to see how well and how sneakily he can set up these traps?
Yeah, there isn't really a set trap thing, is there? I think sleight of hand is good. Yeah. Yeah. You're being sneaky and tricksy, and that's a good one. Oh no. I mean, an 11 isn't so bad that I would immediately say that one of the traps backfires on you. On the other hand, maybe.
Yeah. This was probably during... He was gonna set up a glitter bomb trap for one of them. And he... So now he's covered in glitter.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because it's glitter, I don't think even prestidigitation can get rid of it completely.
No, that's like a nuclear breach, basically. You are covered in glitter, and I'm gonna see how many days you're going to be stuck covered in glitter for. What would you say? D3? D3. Let's see how many days. 3 days. You have 3 days of glitter.
Wonderful.
Amazing. This is going
He
so
will never
well.
be free of this glitter hell. Yeah, so one of them backfires. I can try rolling again, or we can say that the rest were set up in maybe not the most professional fashion, but
they're
but they
okay.
exist and are ready to work.
Yeah, I'll say that if Alibi rolls above, what should we say, a 15, he might spot like glitter where you've set up the traps, but he would have to be looking for it anyway, which is unlikely, let's face it. Okay, yeah, you managed to set up a couple, like say, what, 1, 2 traps?
Yeah, just not too many. The third one was the glitter bomb, and
Yeah,
that
the third
blew up,
one was
so
the
only
one that
two.
exploded on you. Okay, I like that. However, the fox has not returned, so what are you going to do now?
Let's see. He is going to probably alternate between pacing, pouting, and then checking the time and wondering if he should just go and try to find the fox again.
I'm saying this because my second thing does require me being outside. Sorry, I hadn't anticipated.
Yeah, he is 12 years old, so he probably only gets like an hour at most into the waiting before he's like, you know what? I'm going to go find that fox again. And he is going to leave with the trap still fully set up.
Oh boy.
We'll see.
How many people could this
We'll
affect?
see if that backfires later on.
Okay. Gee. I'll say that you go back, you cross the impromptu bridge, you do not fall off it this time, because you remembered where the slippery part is, and we'll basically pick up where you left off. So where you kind of lost trail of this thing. This character. Be nice to your own character, Mod. What the hell is wrong with you? Thing.
Big F to Alibi there. But yeah, he no longer can do speak of animals.
Okay.
So.
Okay. How about roll perception? Because there is something you might be able to hear.
All right.
That's
an 11.
That's not amazing. Yeah, I can't give you that with an 11. I wish I could,
fair.
man. But you do have to do something else to find the fox.
Yeah, he is gonna think for a moment. And then, depending on how toony we can get and how much he can break the fourth wall.
Oh, absolutely, as much as you want.
The first thing that came to mind was him kind of pulling an Emperor's New Groove and just stepping out of the scene for a moment and like flipping through the book
to my god!
Get a little sneak peek at where Alibi is.
Comics! I love it! Shit, I mean, I don't know if that is technically possible. I don't care. That's great. You do that. And yeah, so you managed to find a panel where you see the fox, who, it's no wonder he hasn't come back yet. He's fast asleep underneath a tree, and you know that tree, so you can find your way there.
Yeah. So he steps back into his own panel and quickly rushes over to that tree. He is going to try and stealth again once he gets close.
I was going to say, leaving a trail of glitter behind you. 18, fine.
There is still a trail of glitter behind him, but it's fine.
It's fine. We're not going to worry about it.
Actually, you know what? Let's roll at disadvantage for funsies.
Oh,
14.
All right, yeah, with a 14, you've managed to sneak your way, like, all the way there, like, with that 18, and then at the last moment, like, you're still hidden, so visually, Alibi isn't going to see you, but you step on a twig, and you hear Alibi go, and does this big stretch, because it's like, oh, I've been here for a while, oh, it's slightly colder than it was before, oh, I should go. And then you see the classic cartoon character, and puts a hand to his stomach. The fox is hungry, but he looks up, and wouldn't you know it, he's fallen asleep underneath an apple tree. And there are many, many beautiful apples, but as always, the biggest, the most beautiful one is right at the top. And he just kind of looks at it for a second and then gets up and steps back, just looking at it, waiting. And you can see approaching a woodpecker. What are you going to do?
Let's see. He's not in. I don't think Ursa is entirely sure where this is going because he has seen some weird things yet, but he's not quite sure just yet how this whole thing is going to play out.
Okay, that's probably a very good idea, in fact. The woodpecker flies over, and, you know, it's one of those really annoying blue ones that goes occasionally, but it lands on this tree trunk and starts hammering away, and the apple starts to shake. And you can tell that after a few more blows, this apple is just going to fall down the tree, probably slap bang into this fox's hands. However, make a perception roll.
Alright.
Because you're definitely watching. Oh, 13. No, you don't notice anything else about this apple tree. But yeah, that apple is going to come down. Would you like to do anything to try and sabotage this or anything else?
He might be just a little bit salty about earlier, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see. He is going to... Fireball would be a little bit extreme for this situation.
I mean, you can totally if you want to go fucking off. I'm not gonna stop you. I'm not gonna stop you.
He's probably just gonna do, you know what, let's do Jim's magic missile, because that seems like it could probably lead to some fun things depending on how the rolls go.
Absolutely. With magic missile, you don't even have to aim. You just tell it where to hit and it hits, which is why it's so good.
This is Jim's magic missile. So
Jim's magic missile? Who's Jim?
I do not know who Jim is, but this is a very toony spell because it says you create 3 twisting, whistling, hypoallergenic, gluten-free darts of magical force.
Oh my god.
And so you make a ranged spell attack for each missile. And it does 2d force damage, but if it's a crit, it does 5d force damage.
Oh, Jesus.
But if the attack roll for any missile is a 1, all missiles miss their targets, and they blow up in your face, dealing 1 force damage per missile to you. Which is why I love this spell.
Is this part of the toonamency?
No, I think this is part of a source book. I forget which one.
Oh my god,
but this is a real spell.
Who was Jim? I need to find out the lore on Jim, because I respect and love Jim for this magic missile variation. Please roll. Let's see what happens. Also, like, what are you aiming at? What are you trying to do here?
He is going to... He's not salty enough to attack a random innocent woodpecker, but he is going to try and attack the apple to kind of knock it off course, because no, I don't want you to...
It is an immobile apple, so I do not think this thing has a high AC. Let's say it's a 13 to hit the apple. It is pretty high up, that's the only reason why it's a 13.
Yeah, it is high up, and this is the wrong character sheet. There we go.
Oh my god, I'm so excited about this. Jim's magic missile.
Okay, so...
Gosh.
Oh! 1 was a 1!
Yeah! Oh my gosh, well...
Yeah.
Okay, please describe the spectacular results.
So Ursa, he pulls out one gold piece to do the spell, and it kind of it kind of like catches the light, and the shines turn into three little magic darts. And just as he's trying to point to where the apple is, he his hands slip, and he drops the coin, and they and they all kind of just, because his concentration is broken, they all just blow up right in his face.
Wait, like, so if it's even just, like, one, they all blow up? Like, even those two at the end don't
Yeah,
hit? Oh my god, I love this even more
all
now.
of them blow up.
That's amazing! Oh
It's
no.
so so not only does he not get to hit the apple, but his position is probably very much revealed from the three little explosions.
That's incredible. I'm gonna roll perception with my amazing plus nothing to see, because it's almost gonna be funny if Alibi doesn't notice. 17, however. I think he does, yeah. I think there's this sort of in the shrubbery. Like this little cloud of black smoke comes up from where you've been obliterated. And because of the explosion, the woodpecker flies away, and it was actually the explosion that knocked the apple loose, and it bounces down the branches and does land on Alibi's head, but he does not discover gravity. Someone already got there first. But he catches the apple and says, "Aren't you getting rather sick of doing this? Why are you doing this? Actually, I should start with that one."
Erson kind of just pops up out of the bushes with like suit marks on his face, and he's pointing he's pointing a very accusing finger at Alibi, like, because you're super suspicious.
I am not, and he looks affronted, and even though like it's under a hood, you can see a blush because like, this is just the most childish argument. I am not suspicious. How dare you call me suspicious? I'm not.
Like, you are.
How so, exactly? We've known each other. Well, I don't. We don't know each other. So how can you possibly know that I'm suspicious? Which I am not, by the way. Thank you very much. And he takes an indignant bite out of the apple, which is delicious, by the way.
And Ursa pulls out his notes, takes out a pencil, and he like flips through the pages for a second before he like starts tapping on bullet points, like, you wear the hood in the shower, you use a hair dryer on it, you made a tree fall.
I did no such thing. Okay, I did the first two, but everybody's allowed to be a little eccentric, I'll have you know. And as for the tree, that was just coincidence. That sort of thing happens to me. You'll get used to it, don't worry.
Just squints. He's not buying this. Like, you attacked me with birds.
I didn't know. Actually, I think you'll find that the opposite happened. If I recall, that was your birdseed that you threw at me, and he's starting to look a bit annoyed now, and takes another bite of the apple, which is delicious, by the way.
Arizona kind of, he pauses for a moment because, like, yeah, he did do that, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, but you made them attack me.
No, literally.
This is a 12-year-old you're arguing with.
Yes, he realizes that and sighs deeply and holds out the apple and says, "Would you like some?" It's delicious, by the way.
Are you... So his stomach probably growls at that. But that was a wisdom save to see how stubborn he's going to be about this.
Oh my god.
Which was a nat 20.
That's ridiculous.
So, like, there's a moment as Alba, you just hear this very loud, very obvious stomach growling as Ursa kind of just freezes looks away with a blush on his face and says, "No."
All right, Mr. Bulbarigmia, that's your decision. And he continues to eat his very nice apple. It makes like a really pointy sort of by as he walks past, and says, "By the way, that bear is a jolly nice chap. Very good at playing cards, as it turns out."
Ursa just scowls at you because that's his friend.
Yeah, Delta knows. He's
You
been
don't
talking
get to
with
have
what?
him.
I don't think the bear is even friends with Alibi. Like, the bear is now friends with Watt, because Watt is a horse and everybody loves Watt. But Delta just knows that that's going to piss this kid off, which is so mean. But I think he has a reason to piss you off right now.
He does have a reason. So, yeah, you can tell that you kind of hit the mark as he just does an angry little, very much, "I'm trying not to look like I'm pouting, but I'm still very obviously pouting" kind of huff.
Okay. That's really cute. I am going to roll a d2 to see if something happens. I will say in advance that the 1 is a bad thing, the 2 is a good thing. The 1 is the bad thing!
Oh.
Yes! Love the luck gods today! Okay, so as you are, as it were, both starting to head back home, you hear another sound, and you don't have to roll perception for this, and it is coming from the apple tree, and you think it may be some combination of the woodpecker, the explosion, the apple falling, the smell of the apple, which is just as delicious, by the way, and you can hear this sort of buzzing sound from up in the tree, and it's getting louder.
Oh boy. It's kind of just freezes. He puts his hands together in, the motion, like the boy motion.
Mm-hmm.
As he's just... Was there a beehive on the tree?
Do you think I know that? If I'd known that, do you think I would have been sleeping underneath it? And Alibi is likewise frozen, and slowly, I imagine both of them sort of turn around, and it's very, there's the Winnie the Pooh cloud that is emitting from a hole in the tree, and some form of vibration has in fact knocked a beehive loose inside, and because you are both in proximity to each other, it's not a one or the other, it's both. The bees are going to come and try and fuck us up. Oh god, what do we do?
Ursa's just gonna... He's just gonna start running,
Yeah,
I think.
that sounds good! Let's roll athletics. Let's see how well these two noodle-limbed suckers can run. Fortunately, I do get a +2.
Yeah, because...
Oh no, you have a -2.
Yeah.
A 3! That one, yeah!
Oh my god.
I mean, I could use a luck point, but I'm not going to, because Alibi was being a mean bugger, and this is what happens, because his luck also works off the justice system, basically, and if he deserves something, it will go against him. So he starts to run, and immediately trips over a tree root. With your 13, you might have made it over the tree root, but you don't make it over the fox, and you trip over him.
Wonderful. He is... Oh, this is fun.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just going to...
Oh god, I'm looking at my spells. I didn't actually think that I would be involved in this. Okay. Okay.
Oh, Ursa does have a spell that could work.
I also do, but I want you to go first. What do you do?
So, as he trips over Alibi, he kind of lands on his back and looks up at the giant cloud of bees.
Bees?
And he is going... Bees? And he is actually going to kind of, in a panic, cast Hypnotic Pattern.
Oh, fun! Oh, that would be interesting.
So, I hope that Alibi landed on his face for this.
Yeah, I think he did. Face down.
So yeah, so he's safe. And Ursa creates a twisting pattern of colors that kind of appears for a moment before vanishing, and each creature in the area who sees a pattern must make a wisdom save.
Okay, that's a lot. I'm going to act as a cloud. I'm going to make a roll for all
Yeah,
of these.
I think.
And they have a -1. There is, in fact, a sheet for bees. I will include it in the roll zone so you can tell
my
them.
God.
I'm not kidding. They have damage resistance against psychic damage, which I love. For some reason, they have that. Okay, so that's a -1 for a whiz save.
I mean,
12. That's not great.
hey, it does not make it. Yeah, so now the cloud of bees is incapacitated and has a speed of 0.
Yeah, you have sort of this angry cloud, and then your pattern. What does it look like? Like, is there any particular flavor to your hypnotic pattern?
Ursa kind of has the whole constellation theme going on. So it's like for a moment, the night sky appears in a space before him with a whole bunch of, the time lapse photos of skies at night where all the stars kind of go in a circular pattern and you end up like staring at it for a while. It's one of those.
That's so cool. I like that a lot. Sorry, I'm just kind of lost in the source
I'm
right
glad.
now. I'm trying
He
to find
is
something.
a very star-themed wizard.
Oh, that's I mean, yeah, of course he is. Ursa, duh. Oh god, that's really, really good. God damn, I can never find things when I actually need to open them. That's really annoying. I'll have to do that another time. Never mind. Okay, you don't need to know what I'm wittering about. It'll make sense in 10 years' time. Okay, yeah,
Right.
the cloud of bees is incapacitated by this swirling pattern. In fact, it kind of looks like them, and whenever the bees move, it copies them a bit, and this swirling nebula is sort of acting like a shield, which gives Delta the opportunity to get up, and you're not nearly the same size as him, actually, so it's not like he can just like put you under his arm.
That is fair.
I mean, I could roll to see if I can heft a child, but I think we're about the same height, so I don't think it'd work.
Yeah.
Okay, he's just gonna grab you by the wrist and, try and hightail it out of there this time. Rolling athletics, an 8. I'm gonna use a luck point this time. Using a luck point this time. 12. Not amazing. He's not an athlete. It's fine.
12 and 10.
Okay,
it's fine. They have a minute to put some distance between them.
Yeah, we're just like very incompetently stumbling our way through the brush, and it's kind of understandable, and it's comedic. We leave like our character shaped holes through several bushes, that kind of thing. And
absolutely, there is a trail of glitter.
There is a trail of glitter, and in fact I think there is some contamination, because anyone that is covered in glitter that touches anybody else, it's like a zombie thing, like it is contagious. I now have a slightly glittery fox. In fact, let's be fair, how many days of glitter does Alibi have? One day of glitter contamination for the fox. He doesn't even mind, he likes shiny things. Okay. I think we stumble all the way home, because that spell is very good. And he stops and lets go of your wrist and is like, I suppose I should thank you for that? Probably.
And Ursa, he's kind of very much out of breath. He's not an athletic boy.
Oh, this is not an athletic fox. He likes sports because they're fun, but that's it.
Yeah, so he gives Alibi a thumbs up, because he kind of just cats out in a panic, and boy is he glad that they don't have to go home with a bunch of bee stings because
Mm.
he's probably pissed off a hive before. It sucks.
We've all played Animal Crossing, and yeah,
Yeah.
Alibi straightens his coat out slightly and rearranges his scarf like a tie because he wears it like a nerd, and says, "Well, that was a lovely adventure, but I am going to go and have a shower, and whether I do so with or without my hood up is entirely my business, if you'll excuse me." And now he's going to walk into the house.
Oh boy, Ursa. I rolled history to see if he remembered what he did.
Yeah?
That's it. He remembers what he did.
Yeah.
So roll let's roll wisdom to see. Okay.
Wow, 2 nat 20s
Okay, I
in a
guess
row.
he does have a conscience.
Damn, that's
I
all the luck
guess.
is affecting you because like this could pay out to benefit Alibi.
Yeah. So as Alibi is going to open the door, he is struck by, wait a minute, I set up traps everywhere. And Alibi was a little bit nice, so it would be kind of bad if the traps went off. So he's just very quickly like, Alibi, wait.
Okay, what should I do to like roll reaction time to see if I was too slow? Because he is gonna try and open the door, but like you may have set up one of the traps on the door.
Oh, he would have set up one of the traps on the front door,
wouldn't he?
Um,
Is that a dex save? Probably because yeah, it's just a reflex thing, isn't
yeah.
it? Oh boy, I've got a +3. That's not amazing. Let's see what happens. 20.
Well, dirty 20, yeah.
Dirty 20 is good. I think I stop with my hand on the door handle, and yeah, he just kind of freezes and he turns just his head, which is a little bit weird. He says, "Why?"
I may have sort of set up some traps.
You know, you are increasingly reminding me of a cousin I had once. If I let go of the door handle, will it go off?
Ursa shakes his head, like, only if you open it.
Okay. And he lets go of the door handle, backs away slowly, and then he says, "How do you propose that we get inside and also probably disable them so that Grunkle doesn't throw both of us out?"
Ursa is he kind of gestures towards one of the windows, like, he does have a tendency to go through the windows sometimes because he's a bit of a feral child.
Yeah. You get a sort of and yeah, do we have to roll anything to get in through the window? Is it ground floor? I'm assuming.
It's ground floor,
Okay,
so
good.
it's not too much work, but it is a bit more awkward than like just going in through the door.
I think just because they both still kind of don't like each other, they try and get in at the same time and get a bit stuck, so it's like and then you both fall in through the window.
Perfect. And they kind of just Ursa does give Alibi a little bit of a glare when they land because, like, come on, dude.
Oh, he returns.
He lives here. He goes in first.
You're the one that set up the traps. And yeah, so what can we see and like what do we have to do?
Let me roll history for Ursa. Just to Yeah, okay. He remembers where the traps are. For Alibi, it could either be perception or investigation if you want to see where they are.
Okay.
Probably with advantage,
Oh,
because
okay.
Ursa would point them out.
Okay, thank goodness, because that was 12 and 11. Actually, you know what? That does fit. You're the one that set them up. You're the one who should be doing all the work here. He doesn't even he doesn't care a damn at all. Okay. Oh boy. Actually, I should be rolling a d2 to see if he decides to help you. 1 is bad, 2 is good.
Yeah.
1 is bad. So he gets up, brushes himself off, and says, "Well, go on."
Ursa kind of just puts his hands on his hips and huffs because, yeah, starting to regret warning Alibi about those traps.
It's gonna be like that. But yeah, he gives you a shrug, and yeah, he basically says, "Well, you made the bed. You're the one who has to sleep in it."
So just rolls his eyes and goes off to the first trap. And that's probably just a straight intelligence roll, I guess, to see if
Yeah.
he can take apart what he put together.
I'll be kind. Like, again, advantage. You set the thing up, so you do know how it works.
Yeah.
That's a 14, a 19.
All right.
Yeah, that one goes down fine. But we did say that there were two.
Yeah.
So you have to roll again.
Yes. So that one goes down fine. I'll say that's the one with like he's one he's holding a can, and if Alibi is looking, he can't see the label, but from the bright colors and fact that it was obviously rigged up to be opened the moment the door was opened, you can guess that it's a gag can.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's not the worst. At least it wasn't a bucket of slime.
Yeah.
Okay,
Now
the
he's-
next trap. Let's see.
See.
Is it going to explode? I mean, neither of those are amazing.
Yeah. So next he goes off to take down the other trap, which was made to be a little bit harder to avoid than the first trap. Like,
Apparently it was.
because he set up two traps. Yeah, he set up two traps in the entranceway. One to go off when the door was open, but if you avoided that, then you wouldn't expect a trap to happen right afterwards, which is what he was planning on. And that one was a bunch. That one was the water balloon trap.
Oh no!
And you know what? Just for you, they're full of slime.
Oh no! Oh god!
So as he's like taking it down, he kind of loses his balance, and one just it hangs in the air for a moment before it comes right down on top of his hat, and now he's covered in slime.
Oh no, that's.
And he just glares at Alibi.
I think that's actually, yeah, no, that's real diegetic. He is just like doubled over laughing. Okay, well, I'll give you credit for imagination. I wasn't expecting the double whammy. That's it's a good look on you. Okay, no, wait, it's really not. Also, it's gross, and I don't want to touch you at all. So he casts prestidigitation on you, and like, yeah, I think between two people with that we can cast 3 times in a 10-minute space, we managed to get the worst of it off you.
I will say before that.
Oh no.
Ursa's just salty enough to, kind of flick his wrist and send gunk towards Alibi. So.
It's like the tiniest speck. It's like, you know that scene in Basil of Baker Street where Ratigan gets a tiny spot of grease on his jacket and he just looks so offended. It's like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was about to prestidigitate you clean, and then he just, like, puts his finger on it, makes it disappear, and says, never mind.
And Ursa, it wouldn't have been as good as if Alibi was helping him, but he does de-gunk himself a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just enough to be in the touchable range, probably.
I mean, I think Alibi does that sort of sidestep widely.
You don't find slime.
Yeah, you've been thoroughly gunked, so yeah, there's still a fair amount that you're probably going to have to get rid of properly. Anyway, Alibi is sort of edging around you to try and get up the stairs, and he's like, still intent on having the shower, even more so because of the glitter situation. And he says, well, that was a really eventful day, and it's been really enlightening about you. But I think and he slips. He slips on a bit of slime that has fallen on the floor, which he did not notice. And again, I'm not even going to roll for that because it's the rule of justice, basically.
Yeah.
It's the rule of funny. And he goes, does like a really impressive cartoon pratfall. And when he hits the floor, his hood comes off. And what you can see
Oh boy.
is this fox. He just looks like a fox. There's like nothing interesting about it. He has kind of got like some tousled, slightly orangey blondie hair. That's like it. He just looks like a normal guy.
Yeah. And Ursa, he looked really excited for a moment, and then it's just. Then he looks really disappointed because, like, what? All of that for nothing?
Ow, my head. What
And
do you mean?
he kind of just. He waves his arms around like, you're normal!
What?
Why would you wear the hood in the shower?
Wait, what? And like he puts his paws, and they are now paws, up to his face and like pats it, and then feels his nose and his ears, which are like there. And this has happened to him once before, when it was the chance encounter game with the luck trio. And but at that point, Alibi didn't have polymorph, and apparently he does now because his luck was like, oh, that's a good idea. So on impact with the floor, his luck automatically casts polymorph, and he is in fact a fully blown fox, and will be for a while. So he looks like he's got the big sort of shocked cartoon eyes for a second, and then looks at you and is like, look, I'm just shy. I mean, isn't that obvious? You really ought to mind your own business. I mean, sometimes people just want some privacy.
And Ursa just huffs because maybe he was really excited for there to be something weird, you know?
Yeah, there's not even an eye patch. He's just like, that's what he looks like.
Yeah. Like, at least let there be an embarrassing birthmark or something.
Yeah, there's like literally nothing. I will say one thing. If you roll perception and you get like basically a nat 20, I will give you something that you noticed. No.
12, so...
A 12. You don't notice it.
He's a bit too busy being an upset 12-year-old.
Yeah. And I think Alibi eases himself off the floor and has to get used to the fact that his tail is like working like a tail and helps to balance him. And it's like, oh god, that thing again. Yeah, that was weird the first time. So he sways a little and gets hold of the banister. He's like, okay, ordinarily I would be nice and say you need the shower first because, yeah, and he like does the gesture at all of you because you're a mess. And he says, but just because of this, I think I'm going to go first. And yes, I'm going to make sure I use up all the hot water.
Question. Is Alibi currently within 10 feet
Oh,
of Ursa?
absolutely, yeah. He was doing the leaning in to be really obnoxious.
Yeah, Ursa points at you and he instantaneously soils your clothes. Because that's the other thing.
Oh my
You can
God.
use prestidigitation to clean.
Yes!
But you can also use it to dirty.
Yes! Oh no. I think there's actually like, he just looks so shocked. He then just like starts a literal mudslinging fight with a child. Like, he can do prestidigitation too, bitch. Like, he does it back to you. And like, you're both variably getting cleaner and dirtier and cleaner as these spells go back and forth. It's like that scene in Sleeping Beauty with all the shots of magic going up the chimney outside the ramshack. And eventually, I think we just, like, we leave it on the zoom out of that chaotic scene. And what poor Ursa didn't notice in that very small time frame of change is that somehow magically Alibi's gloves disappeared all of a sudden. Huh. Weird.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Very strange. But, you know, they can just do that sometimes. And I think that's a really good place to leave this chaotic game. So yeah, Ursa now just thinks that Alibi is a regular fox, which is great for me.
Yeah, great for you. And he's going to proceed to be upset about it for the next week.
I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. This was great. This was so fun.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
this was really fun. I had a wonderful
I
time.
had a great time. This was
I
so fun. Yes.
I love how horrible they are.
They're both equally nasty. Like just such children. Absolute childish behavior from both of them, especially this guy who's actually kind of like, I'm playing him as 33, which is the age it like headcanon Gladstone to be. Also happens to be my age. It's going to be really weird after this year. This character that's always been older than me is suddenly going to be younger, and it's like, oh, that's a strange point to be at in your life. Oh no. Oh well. The ravages of time, they do not affect cartoon characters. This is what price we pay for being mortals. Thank you very much. This was great. Do you want to add anything?
Yeah. No, other than just like, this was a wonderful time. I had a whole lot of fun, and I hope that you had fun too.
I did. No, this is... my face hurts. I've been grinning the whole time. Thank you very, very much. I'll do a very quick edit of this video, because I do need to put in that art for people to go, what the fuck? What art? Where is it? Oh, there it is. It's just art that we've seen before. Disappointment. But yeah, I will have it up as soon as possible. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And yeah, that's all, folks. Hooray.
Yep. Alright. See you the next time. Bye bye.
Bye.